Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to attempt to make a small multiple orchid arrangement, and what that is we are going to try to plant 2 orchids into one pot because I am, excuse the noise, it is almost sunset here and I do live on a farm, so all of the birds and all of the cats and the dogs are starting to tuck away. So as I was saying, we are going to attempt to put 2 orchids into one pot and just make a really pretty arrangement for the just for the holidays. I just want to use an orchid arrangement for my centerpiece at my dinner table. So I went shopping this weekend, and as you can see, I bought some beautiful orchids. I found a orchid farm. I traveled to Miami this weekend and I just found the most beautiful orchids this weekend, and I was like a kid in a candy store. I couldn't leave. I was in paradise. So as you can see, I'm gonna try to attempt this with these beautiful new orchids that I acquired, and we'll see how they come out. So we will get started. So I'm going to attempt my project here with these 2 orchids. One is a little bit bigger than the other. This big one has, as you can tell, a lot of great big blooms. It is just beautiful. It has 9 flowers in total, and the base of the flower is just extremely huge. It has a great big trunk, and it just seems like it has just a lot of roots. So we're hoping that this one will allow this other smaller one to actually fit. This other smaller one is just tiny. It just has a couple of blooms, as you can see, and it's just in a little tiny pot here. So we're going to try to do these 2 into this beautiful little white pot here. So we'll see how it comes out. Let's get all of our tools ready. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and empty this flower pot, and I'm just going to take all the media out, and I'm just going to completely empty the flower into this pot, or out of the pot, sorry. And I'm just going to set it out to the side. And I'm going to do the same thing with the larger one. Now this one is going to be a little bit trickier because it has been in this pot for a longer period of time, and this one doesn't have any media. It actually has a moss, so the moss is going to be a little bit trickier to take out. Wow, these root systems are actually really good. You have to be really careful with big flowers like this. For example, this one that has a lot of flowers hanging out like this, it's very fragile. So if you shake it around a lot, the stem or the pike can actually break because it's so long and heavy at the end. So I'm just going to be very gentle here, as gentle as I can be. And like I've said in my previous videos, if you break 1 or 2 stems or roots, it's not as bad But if you break more than one, you don't want that, because then you have open wounds, and that is really bad for bacteria. Because there is a lot of roots and we just don't want to break any of them. All right, so we have taken out most of this moss. I just have a few more right inside here, if you can see that. Orchids are meant to be grown like to tree trunks. I don't know if you guys have ever seen orchids growing from actual trees. That's how they're originally made to grow. So whenever you put them in pots to grow, the roots just really attach to all of the things that you put in the pot with them. The moss, the media, bark, the rocks, anything that you put in the pots with them, they attach to. So when it's time to take them apart, like this, it's really hard because it's their nature to attach to everything. That's how they get their nurture. So I think we got most of it. Okay, so as you can see, we got most of it out. And now we just got very nice, beautiful roots. And because this orchid was being planted and being cared for at an actual orchid farm, and that's all they did was take care of orchids, these roots are actually in great shape versus other plants that I have shown you guys from the grocery store, which are all in bad condition or rotten, or the roots are very squishy. So these roots are actually very beautiful, as you can tell. So I'm actually very happy with this purchase. And this orchid was only $10. So I'm actually very happy. Okay, so now is the fun part. We are going to just go ahead and move this away and put it into the pot. And we're gonna try to do this very nicely to both orchids. So we're just gonna put them in there as best we can. We're gonna make sure that they're as even as possible. So we're just gonna lay them as straight as possible. Put the leaves as straight as possible. I'm just gonna try to flip this one a little bit, maybe. See if this way it'll look a little better. There we go. Yes, I think that way looks better. And I actually ran out of the media that I normally use from the repotme.com. I actually placed an order last week, so hopefully it should get here pretty soon. But I went out and bought this just regular orchid mix, which also works. It's not a bad brand, and it has a variety of orchids that it works for. If you guys can see here, it is made for different types of orchids. Excuse my nail, I broke it doing this. It works for different types of orchids here, and so it will work in the interim. It's not a bad mixture, so it is still pretty good. I still do like the ones from repotme.com. I feel like they do last a lot longer. But since I ran out, I'm just going to go ahead and use this for now. So we're going to go ahead and just start filling in this pot. Just gonna really, this is a little bit of a larger pot than I've normally used, so, and it is a lot of a bigger orchid, and it is a lot of roots, so I am gonna go ahead and just really stuff this one, because when I water it, I do want it to get all of the nutrients that it needs. And because there's going to be 2 orchids feeding from all of this media, I do want it to have as much media as possible to really nourish both these orchids at the same time. So we're really going to go ahead and just pack this pot as much as possible. And that is why I wanted to also put the top layer of moss from the moss I took out, because that's gonna help that stay. Oh, my cats and my dogs are fighting. That's gonna help the media stay moist, and it's gonna help me water it less. So, and it just looks kind of, Oreo, be nice. So this layer here is just gonna help it. Guys, it's just gonna help it. As you can tell, I didn't water these when I got home, and it's very, very wet. So the moss actually helps it stay really moist. So that's good. That means you get to water it less. And the less you water it, the better it is, because you don't have to worry about overwatering it or underwatering it. The moss actually does it for you. Plus it looks kind of nice with that little top layer. So to finish this off, I am just going to go ahead and just give it a little light spray on the leaves to kind of wash away all of this dust from the moss and from the bark that I put on it. And I'm just going to spray off the flowers a little bit. And guys, I think we are all done. Now, if you're making this like a floral arrangement to gift to someone for the holidays, or if you know somebody that loves orchids and you want to gift this to somebody, you can always put, you know, like Christmas decorations in here, maybe like a Christmas ornament, or just, you know, stake something in here to gift them. and it will make a great holiday gift for somebody who loves orchids, like me. Here you go. 2 Phalaenopsis orchids in one. Little one. And the bigger one. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you again for watching my channel. If you like this video and want to see others, don't be afraid to comment below, like, and again, happy holidays to everyone. Goodbye.